Let me tell you why most people live lives of quiet desperation. It's not because life hasn't chosen them. It's because they keep choosing what's not choosing them back. Isn't that interesting? Here's what I've learned in my years of studying success in human behavior. We are constantly making choices. But how many of us are choosing wisely? You see, life sends us signals all the time. But we ignore these signals because we're too busy chasing what's running away from us. Now, let me share something profound with you. If you have to chase it, beg for it, or compromise your values for it, it's not choosing you. Write that down. That's worth writing down. You say, but Jim, I really want this relationship to work. Well, let me ask you something. Does this relationship want to work with you? Are you the only one putting in the effort? Are you the only one making the sacrifices? If so, you're choosing what's not choosing you. Let me tell you about success. True success has a peculiar quality. It's attracted to those who aren't desperate for it. Isn't that fascinating? When you're desperate, you repel the very things you want to attract. That's just how life works. Now, here's what most people do. They spend years, sometimes decades, trying to fit into places that weren't designed for them. They try to convince people to love them who aren't interested in loving them. They try to keep jobs that are slowly killing their spirit. And then they wonder why they're unhappy. Let me tell you something that might shock you. Everything in life is either choosing you or rejecting you. Everything. Your job isn't neutral. Your relationships aren't neutral. Your circumstances aren't neutral. They're either nourishing you or depleting you. Now, some of you are sitting there thinking, but Jim, I've invested so much time. Let me ask you this. Would you keep putting money in a bank that never gives you interest? Would you keep planting seeds in soil that never produces crops? Then why do you keep investing your precious life in situations that give you no return? Here's what's fascinating. When you stop choosing what's not choosing you, something magical happens. The right thing starts showing up. Isn't that interesting? It's like the universe has been waiting for you to get out of your own way. Let me give you a simple example. You've got two plants in your garden. One thrives no matter what you do. The other withers no matter how much you water it. Which one are you going to keep nurturing? Yet in life, we do the opposite. We keep watering dead plants and wonder why we have no energy left for the ones that want to grow. Now, here's what separates the successful from the unsuccessful. Successful people can read the signs early. They don't need a disaster to tell them something's not working. They can feel it in the subtle resistance, in the constant struggle, in the lack of flow. You see, life has a wonderful way of telling you what's right for you. When something's right, doors open. People help. Opportunities appear. But when something's wrong, everything's a struggle. Everything's hard. Everything's a push. Let me tell you why this is so important. Your life isn't infinite. Your time isn't infinite. Your energy isn't infinite. Yet most people live as if they have all the time in the world to waste on things that aren't meant for them. Here's what's fascinating. Everything that's not choosing you is actually blocking something that would choose you. Isn't that interesting? That mediocre job you're holding on to, it's blocking your dream career. That lukewarm relationship you won't let go of, it's blocking your soulmate. That toxic friendship you keep maintaining, it's blocking genuine connections. Now, some of you are thinking, but Jim, what if I let go and nothing better comes along? Let me tell you something profound. Nothing better can come along until you create space for it. That's just how life works. You can't receive with closed hands. Here's what most people do. They stay in situations long past their expiration date. They become like that person who keeps milk in the refrigerator even after it's gone sour. Why? Because they're afraid they won't get more milk. Isn't that ridiculous? Let me share something powerful with you. Everything that's meant for you will have a certain ease to it. Not that it won't require work, but the work will feel right. It will feel productive. It won't feel like you're pushing a boulder uphill. You see, success leaves clues. When something's right for you, it helps you grow. It makes you better. It adds to your life. But when something's wrong for you, it diminishes you. It drains you. It makes you less than who you are. Now, let me tell you something that might revolutionize your thinking. Success is not just about what you pursue. It's about what you permit, what you allow, what you accept. Isn't that fascinating? Here's what most people don't understand. Every time you say yes to what's not choosing you, you're saying no to what would choose you. Every single time. That's worth writing down. When you stay at that job that's not recognizing your value, you're saying no to the opportunity that would value you. When you chase that person who's not interested, you're saying no to someone who would cherish you. Let me ask you something. How many times does life have to show you the same lesson before you learn it? How many closed doors do you need to push against before you realize there's an open door waiting for you somewhere else? You see, life is constantly trying to guide you. But here's what's interesting. We often ignore the guidance because it doesn't match our plans. Isn't that something? We make these elaborate plans and then get upset when life has something better in store for us. Now, some of you are thinking, but Jim, I've already invested so much time. Let me tell you about the law of diminishing returns. Just because you spent 10 years making a mistake doesn't mean you should spend 10 more. Some of you need to hear that twice. Here's what separates winners from losers. Winners know when to persist and when to desist. They know when to hold on and when to let go. But most importantly, they understand that letting go of the wrong thing is actually holding on to their future. Let me share something profound with you. Your life is speaking to you every single day. Every single day, through your energy levels, through your enthusiasm, through your results. But most people aren't listening. They're too busy making excuses for what's not working. Here's what's fascinating. Everything that's truly meant for you energizes you. Isn't that interesting? The right relationship energizes you. The right career energizes you. The right environment energizes you. If something's constantly draining you, that's life speaking to you in the language of energy. Now, some of you are saying, but Jim, nothing's perfect. And you're right, but there's a big difference between imperfect and wrong. An imperfect situation can be improved. A wrong situation needs to be left. Learn the difference. It will save you years of your life. Let me tell you about the law of attraction. It's not just about attracting what you want. It's about becoming unattractive to what you don't want. Isn't that something? When you raise your standards, when you know your worth, the wrong things stop showing up in your life. Here's what most people do. They negotiate with circumstances that they should be navigating away from. They try to make deals with dead ends. They try to compromise with situations that are compromising their future. You see, life has an interesting way of working. When you're willing to walk away from what's not serving you, you develop a magnetic power. People can feel it. Opportunities can feel it. Success can feel it. Let me tell you something that might change your entire perspective. Prosperity isn't just about what you gain. It's about what you refuse to lose. Your time, your energy, your peace of mind, your self-respect. These are the true currencies of life. Here's what's fascinating. When you stop choosing what's not choosing you, you develop something remarkable, discernment. Isn't that interesting? You start to recognize the difference between an opportunity and a distraction, between a genuine connection and a temporary attachment, between real growth and mere motion. Now, some of you are thinking, but Jim, what about patience? What about perseverance? Let me tell you something powerful. There's a difference between patience and denial. Patience is waiting for what's worth waiting for. Denial is waiting for what's never going to happen. You see, life operates on principles. Just like gravity doesn't care about your opinions, these principles work whether you believe in them or not. And one of these principles is this: what's meant for you requires invitation, not persuasion. Here's what most people do. They try to convince life to give them what they want. They negotiate, they plead, they compromise. But life doesn't respond to negotiation, it responds to alignment. Let me ask you something. If you had to convince someone to hire you, to love you, to respect you, to value you, what does that tell you? Write this down. If you have to convince them, they're not convinced. And what's not convinced today will be even less convinced tomorrow. Let me share something that might shake up your whole world. Every time you choose what's not choosing you, you're voting against yourself. Think about that. You're telling the universe, I don't believe I deserve better. Is that the message you want to send? Here's what's fascinating about life. It's constantly moving you toward what's right for you. But most people resist this movement. They hold on to what's familiar even when it's fatal to their dreams. Isn't that interesting? Now let me tell you about the law of correspondence. Your outer world will always reflect your inner beliefs. If you believe you have to struggle for love, you'll find relationships that make you struggle. If you believe success must be painful, you'll find opportunities that hurt you. You see, most people spend their lives trying to fix what was never meant to work. They're like mechanics trying to repair a car that was designed to break down. The solution isn't better repair skills, it's a better car. Here's what separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. Extraordinary people understand that forcing something to work is a sign that it's not working. Write that down. When you have to force it, fight for it, or fake it, that's life trying to tell you something. Let me give you a principle that could save you years of frustration. Anything that's meant for you will have three qualities. It will respect your values, reflect your worth, and reciprocate your effort. If any of these are missing, you're choosing what's not choosing you. Let me tell you why this is so crucial to understand. Your choices are creating your future right now. Right now, not tomorrow, not next week, but in this very moment. Every time you choose what's not choosing you, you're choosing your own future struggles. Here's what's fascinating. Success leaves breadcrumbs. When something's right for you, it creates more success. When something's wrong for you, it creates more struggle. Isn't that interesting? Life is constantly giving you feedback, but most people ignore the feedback while complaining about the results. Now, some of you are saying, but Jim, I'm afraid of making the wrong choice. Let me tell you something profound. Staying where you don't belong is the wrong choice. Accepting less than you deserve is the wrong choice. Choosing what's not choosing you is always the wrong choice. You see, life has an interesting quality. It will keep bringing you the same lesson until you learn it. If you keep choosing people who don't choose you, you'll keep experiencing rejection. If you keep choosing jobs that don't value you, you'll keep experiencing frustration. Here's what most people do. They try to change the results without changing the choices. They want different outcomes, but keep making the same decisions. Einstein called that insanity, didn't he? Let me share something powerful with you. Everything that's meant for you will multiply you. It will multiply your joy, your growth, your possibilities, but everything that's not meant for you will divide you. It will divide your energy, your focus, your potential. Let me tell you something that might revolutionize your thinking. Your life is a reflection of your standards, not your desires. Everyone desires success, but only those with high standards achieve it. Everyone desires, but only those with high standards find it. Here's what's fascinating. When you stop accepting what's not accepting you, your entire life begins to upgrade. Isn't that interesting? It's like you're sending a signal to the universe saying, I'm ready for better, and better starts showing up. Now, let me share something profound with you. There are two pains in life, the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. The pain of walking away from what's not choosing you is discipline. The pain of staying where you don't belong is regret. Choose your pain. You see, most people stay stuck because they're afraid of the unknown. But here's what's interesting. Staying with what's not choosing you is also unknown. You don't know how much more time you'll waste, how much more pain you'll endure, how many more opportunities you'll miss. Here's what separates the successful from the unsuccessful. Successful people understand that comfort is the enemy of progress. They're willing to be temporarily uncomfortable to be permanently better. Let me ask you something. If you knew with absolute certainty that something better was waiting for you, would you still hold on to what's not working? Of course not, but that's exactly what faith is, the certainty of better things. Let me tell you about a principle that could transform your entire life. It's called the law of psychological reciprocity. When you value yourself, life values you back. When you choose yourself, life chooses you back. Isn't that fascinating? Here's what most people don't understand. Every time you stay in a situation that diminishes you, you're programming your subconscious mind to expect less. Every time you accept behavior that disrespects you, you're training the world how to treat you. Now, some of you are thinking, but Jim, what if I make changes and everything falls apart? Let me ask you something. Isn't it already falling apart? Isn't that why you're here? Sometimes things need to fall apart so better things can fall together. You see, life has a wonderful way of making room for what belongs in your life by removing what doesn't. But here's what's interesting. Most people fight this process. They hold on to what's leaving instead of welcoming what's coming. Here's what separates winners from whiners. Winners understand that rejection is protection. When something's not choosing you, it's actually protecting you from investing more time in the wrong direction. Let me share something powerful with you. Your future is created by what you're willing to walk away from today. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Every time you say no to what's not serving you, you're saying yes to what will serve you. Here's what's fascinating. When you stop investing in dead ends, you suddenly have energy for new beginnings. Isn't that interesting? It's like your life force has been trapped in all these situations that aren't choosing you back. Now, let me share a principle that transformed my own understanding. Everything in life is either feeding your future or feeding your fears. When you stay in situations that aren't choosing you, you're feeding your fears. Fear of being alone, fear of starting over, fear of the unknown. You see, life has an incredible way of testing your self-worth. It will keep presenting you with situations that ask, do you really believe you deserve better? Most people fail this test. They say yes with their words, but no with their actions. Here's what separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. Extraordinary people understand that walking away from what's not working is not giving up, it's moving up. Write that down. That's worth writing down. Let me ask you something. If you were to list all the time something better came along after you let go of something that wasn't working, how long would that list be? Yet we forget these experiences when we're faced with letting go again. Let me tell you about a principle that could revolutionize your entire existence. It's called the law of energetic alignment. When something's right for you, it increases your energy. When something's wrong for you, it depletes your energy. Simple as that. Here's what's fascinating. Most people are spending their precious life force trying to change what cannot be changed. They're trying to convince the unconvinced, trying to secure the insecure, trying to commit the uncommitted. Isn't that exhausting? Now, some of you are thinking, but Jim, what about fighting for what you want? Let me tell you something profound. There's a difference between fighting for an opportunity and fighting against reality. One builds you up, the other breaks you down. You see, life has an interesting way of speaking to us through resistance. When you're constantly facing resistance, that's life trying to redirect you. But here's what most people do. They see resistance as a challenge to push harder instead of a signal to go another way. Here's what separates the successful from the struggling. Successful people understand that ease is a better indicator than effort. If you're the only one making an effort, if you're the only one fighting for it, if you're the only one trying to make it work, that's not dedication, that's desperation. Let me share something powerful with you. Your future self is watching you right now. Right now, and they're either thanking you for letting go or wondering why you held on so long. Let me tell you something that might completely change how you see your current situation. Everything you're currently tolerating is training people how to treat you. Everything. Your standards aren't what you want, they're what you accept. Here's what's fascinating about life. It will keep bringing you the same lessons dressed in different situations until you finally learn. Isn't that interesting? If you keep accepting half-hearted commitment, you'll keep meeting half-hearted people. Now, some of you are saying, but Jim, I've invested so much time. Let me ask you something. If you bought a stock and it kept going down, would you keep buying more just because you already owned some? That's what they call the sunk cost fallacy, and it's keeping you stuck. You see, most people stay in situations long past their expiration date because they're waiting for a perfect moment to leave. But here's what's interesting. There is no perfect moment. The perfect moment is when you finally decide to respect yourself. Here's what separates the achievers from the dreamers. Achievers understand that what you tolerate becomes your standard. If you tolerate disrespect, that becomes your standard. If you tolerate mediocrity, it becomes your standard. Let me share something powerful with you. Every time you choose what's not choosing you, you're telling your subconscious mind a story about what you deserve. And your subconscious mind is listening. It's always listening. Let me bring this home with something that might just change everything for you. Your life is not a democracy. Everyone doesn't get a vote. The only vote that matters is yours, and every day you're voting either for or against your own worth. Here's what's fascinating. When you finally stop choosing what's not choosing you, something magical happens. Your entire energy changes, your presence changes, your future changes. Isn't that interesting? By subtraction, you create addition. Now, let me leave you with these final thoughts. Success leaves clues, and so does settling. The clue of success is peace. The clue of settling is constant turmoil. If you're constantly in turmoil, that's life trying to wake you up. You see, at the end of your life, you won't regret the things that didn't choose you. You'll regret the time you spent trying to make them choose you. Every moment you spend forcing something to work is a moment you could be spending with what would work naturally. Here's my final challenge to you. Starting today, make a commitment to stop choosing what's not choosing you. Stop chasing what's running away. Stop forcing what's falling apart. Stop believing in what's repeatedly disappointing you. Remember this, life is too short to spend it auditioning for people who have no intention of casting you, working for companies that have no intention of promoting you, and loving people who have no intention of loving you back. Your life is waiting for you to stop settling. Your dreams are waiting for you to stop settling. Your destiny is waiting for you to stop settling. The question is, how much longer are you going to make them wait? The time is now. The person is you, and the decision is yours. Choose wisely, because while you're busy choosing what's not choosing you, what's meant for you is waiting for you to finally become available. Thank you, and may you have the courage to stop choosing what's not choosing you so what's meant for you can finally find you. That's all for today.